Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Sylvia. For those who are new here, please remember to like, subscribe and turn on the notifications and leave your comments below. So today I'm going to be talking about myself, and so that you guys can also get to know me. If you see me looking down, just know I wrote notes on my phone, and that's what I'm going to be referring to. So to begin with, today I'm going to be introducing myself again to my channel like I do many times. But this time I just want to keep it formal, so let's get to know each other. So yeah, so my name is Sylvia Olo, and I'm a creative designer. And so as a creative designer, what I usually do is I do logos for those who are interested. I also do things like letterheads, business cards, and what else? Let me think. Logos, photography. I do a lot of things, so sometimes I forget. Photography, and with my photographies I do stock images and shoots for those who are interested, content creation, illustrations, digital art, painting. I do both traditional and digital painting. So yeah, and the brand is Spinkly. Spinkly Creations came from my name Sylvia, which is normally shortened to Sly. So Sly inside the color pink, which is my favorite color. This is the brand, and with the brand name Spinkly, I wanted to start an identity. So then the identity is Spinkly. So when you see my work, you see the brand, and it's easier to push the brand as a designer as opposed to pushing Sylvia Olo. And also, you just want to work with you want to work with a name that's gonna stand out. So that's why I went with Spinkly. Yeah. Let me take you back a bit about the journey and where it was started. So I started with, I got a degree in biology, and that was in Belmont Abbey College. Shoutout. That was in America, North Carolina. And after I did biology, you know, biology is like pre-med. I decided not to do medicine because, I mean, there was so much going on. And I decided to break it down, you know, take a notch lower. So then I decided to do nursing. And when I went to do nursing, I worked as a nurse. And I don't know, I think I loved the sciences. Yes, it was my career. But I was, like, in my free time, I realized that my passion is in the arts. Like, I would do Photoshop, teach myself how to do Photoshop. I'd buy myself paintings, and I'd end up discovering oil paints, acrylics, and teaching myself how to, you know, figure out my talent and see what I can do with it. So then I decided to drop biology. Also, I mean, I was thinking with biology, you guys, if you make a mistake, as in you're a doctor and you make a mistake, somebody dies. That's scary. But with, you know, my passion for the arts, you know, you blunder, you make a mistake, you're just bruising your ego, and that's about it. At least you can come back from there. And that's why I decided to, you know, work with what I'm good at, which was basically my talent and the arts. And that's why I decided to take a new route and venture into the arts. So I also started doing photos. You know that person in school that just carries the camera around? You know, those days it was not the camera DSLR, and you didn't have those big phones that you always have your camera in. I know my age is showing, but let me tell you, you know those cameras that you had, those Sony cameras, I had a Sony, so I can't remember the other brands. But yeah, I was that person that takes photos of everywhere, and we're just discovering Facebook. So everyone's like, Sylvia, send the photos, tag me. That was me. So then I discovered my passion for photos. And from that, I started taking pictures of people, my friends, from my room, you know. And then I had a magazine for women. I started a women's magazine. It was an online women's magazine. And so then I had writers, people wanted to write for me. And with my women's magazine, I'll talk about relationships. I had a place for recipes. People would send me recipes, I would share. Man, I miss my magazine. It was called Spinkly Magazine. Honestly, if you remember that magazine, and you can, like, just comment down below. Like, just thank you for reading my magazine. It was so on point. But that didn't work out for so long because, you know, this is where it gets tricky, man. When you get writers and people to work for you, please make sure you do your homework. Because when you're editing, like, be very careful, because there's someone who was plagiarizing and I was not even sure. I was not aware. And back then I didn't, because of I teach myself most of the things I know, I didn't know about stock photography and just getting rights for photos, and that's, I had to learn the hard way. So then my online magazine, as much as I had like over 100,000 viewers and I had good traffic on my website, I was not able to get it monetized, or what's the word? Google AdSense. Yeah, I was not able to get accepted for Google AdSense. So then after the magazine, I got into Shoutout because I figured I love the art. So I was like, instead of me flying out to go to college again, I said, why not go to Shoutout, which was in town, and I loved it. That's when I discovered, yes, you know what, you're not wrong. You love the art and you love doing what you do. So I knew I was on the right track, which is where I learned 3D animation and just a touch of, yeah, filming. So then I learned a bit of filming. So with the magazine, I was able to work in publishing. I worked in publishing in Story Moja, and I used to do revision books for high school and primary. So I worked on that, and at a point I was able to teach myself self-publishing. That's where that came from. So yes, I am an author. I do have some self-published books, and I also do notebooks on Amazon. You can check them out. This is a planner, a new day. I like that. I have written a children's book. I wrote that as well. I learned how to write a script for my film in Shoutout as well when I was working on publishing. Oh, yeah, in Shoutout. So then I wrote that and I published it because I was not able to do the movie. And I do help other people self-publish. This is one of the books I've done for my cousin. And yeah, many more books to come. So yeah, in publishing, I figured out that with all that background I have, and most of it is just like things I learned on my own, and I needed to get papers for it. So then when you're looking for jobs, you need to be able to show something that you're solid, that you're really not just a hoax. So then I decided to do my master's in graphic design and typography. I went to UK to do that, and I got my master's. Kudos to me. You know, sometimes you have to patch yourself in the work because nobody else is going to do it for you. And then after that, I was not able to go back into publishing because, you know, with a master's, you go a step higher, and I don't know, I figured I wanted to do something for my own. So then I decided to do Book Hive, and with Book Hive was basically how can I say it? It's a place where you can read books online. So then it was basically a website that just had Kenyan content, African content. So I was trying to promote African readers, African writers. So then I had a website for where people can buy books online. But the thing with that is, it was actually on subscription. Like you pay for subscriptions and you go online, buy a book. But people weren't subscribing. So then I decided to start Juza. Juza was basically a website where it was like a digital library. And with that, I was able to start 15 digital libraries in 15 different, in public schools. And that was in primary. So I loved that. That was a fun time. And then after that, Corona happened. And after Corona happened, then I kind of lost the mojo for going into schools and doing the libraries because of, schools were closed and it was a crazy time. Everyone was social distancing, and Juza just didn't sound realistic at that point. So then I decided to go back to Spinkly. You know, I always go back to Spinkly. Spinkly is where it all started. And with Spinkly, I kind of realized that, you know, you always have to have something of your own, because with something of your own, you're able to grow on that. And yeah, so then that's what I did. Back to Spinkly and promoting the brand, and I wanted the brand to grow as a creative designer. So the lessons that I've learned through my journey is be confident in yourself. Like, there's a lot of people that are gonna come and tell you that you check out so-and-so's work, they do better than you, or you can learn a thing or two from someone else, and it can get discouraging if you're not careful. So I'd say be confident in your work, know what you're doing, or even if you don't know what you do, act like you know what you're doing. Just sometimes, what do they say? Fake it until you make it. Yeah, basically. Because we are all really learning, like no one's perfect. So be confident in your work, and even if it's not good, you're still learning, so walk the journey. you're gonna get good at it. So don't stop. And then also I'd say be intentional and focused. Like when you're doing something, be intentional. Like just don't do something to do it. And that's my word for this. Yeah, be intentional. I really need to be intentional, because if you're not focused with your work, people are going to confuse you. Someone's gonna be like, do photography. You're good at it. No, don't do photography. Do illustration. Your illustrations are good. Why are you doing digital illustrations? Do paintings. Physical art is what sells. You know, people are gonna be throwing you back and forth, and that's what happened with me. I feel like my brand, Spinkly. You know, I lost focus at a point, and I kept trying Juza, Bokai, you know, going up and down. My magazine didn't work. You know, like trust your instincts. Be focused. Like if you choose to do focus on your brand, and that's how you're gonna grow. So be intentional. Don't let people sidetrack you. And another thing I'd say is be adaptive to change. Adapt to change. So I feel like the words, like the direction of the sea is always changing. So be able to flow with it, like run with the ocean, like flow, move with the flow. So like I would say, you know, sometimes you're good at one thing, but then you run out of paper. You don't just sit there and say, I'm gonna stop. My camera stopped working. I feel like with my stages, I had to adapt really fast. Like if you're not doing photography, at least learn illustration, so then you can really switch it up. Like it doesn't reach a point in time when you're out of business because you don't know how to do something. And like I said, I do Photoshop or Illustrator. I had to learn how to do Illustrator. No one sat me down and taught me how to do digital art. No one showed me how to do digital art on Photoshop. I had to teach myself. And now I've moved to the iPad, so then I can learn Procreate. Like no one told me, this is what you need to do. Like this is what, move this stroke up, and then you draw up. All I'm saying is be adaptive. And with that, you're always going to be able to move forward. So with the lessons learned, then my advice to you would be that no one is coming to see you. If you're sitting on your chair and you're waiting for someone to tap you, like, oh my God, you're such an artist, you're talented, you're the next Leonardo da Vinci. Like, if you think that's going to happen, boy, you have a long thing coming. Or girls, if there are girls on the channel watching. Girl, yeah, you get what I'm saying. So another thing I would say is, like, with that advice is you can only go as far as what you decide to do with that. Like push yourself, like have that focus and be able to push yourself. Like if you say you're gonna record, remember to record. Yeah, you can only go as far as you can. You know, if you choose not to record, then you're not gonna have a video out because you're not pushing yourself. So you only go as far as you push yourself. That's my advice to you. So keep pushing and keep going, and that's what makes you go further in life. Yeah, that's my advice to you. Yeah, so I would have put questions out, and you know, I do a section for get to know me, but honestly, I have like 2 subscribers. You know what I mean? I don't have many subscribers, and honestly, I feel like when I ask questions, no one answers me on the comments below. So I have an audience, brother dearest. He's my audience, and I'm gonna ask him if he has any questions for me that I can answer, because that's probably the only questions I'm gonna get from anyone. So, any questions, Wayne?
The first question I feel like I was going to ask was, where do you feel Spinkly, the channel, is going to go? What do you want to do in the future?
Honestly, Spinkly Creations, the channel, I think it's just Spinkly. I don't know where it's going to go, and I don't want to preempt that it's going to go somewhere as much as I should. I like that I'm able to record the process of my artwork, and as I record the process of my artwork, I can always go back to it. So then when I look back at some of my work, which I usually do, I forget stuff. So when I look back, I'm like, oh, that's how I did it. So it also helps me. And also, I've had people question the authenticity of my work, and asked me if I really did the artwork, and I've been able to show that it's and prove that it's my work, because it's actually me who's doing the work. Like, I literally recorded myself doing the work. So then if someone tries to copyright, it's kind of weird to copyright your work as well. So that's why I like that I record my artwork, and that's what my channel is for. And if you guys are learning from it, I can also use it as a learning tool. If it grows, well and good. If it doesn't, then oh well. I still see the advantages to it. Any other question?
How long have you been doing digital drawings and stuff?
Digital drawing is, I learned that by myself. I think it's 5 years now. I'm not sure. It started out as me doing content creation. I told you I'm a graphic designer. So at a point, I used to look for content and I don't find it. Thank God I'm a photographer. You know, you have to, that's why I'm telling you, be adaptive to change. So I'm a photographer. I had to go look for my camera, which I did, take photos for my content creation. But when I don't have the photos I'm looking for, like say someone needs girl drawing and I don't have a girl drawing, I had to learn how to illustrate. So that's when I had the initiative to learn how to illustrate. But you see, the illustration, I was not able to, that's when I learned how to do digital art, because then I was not able to illustrate, but I had to learn. So I did that. I mostly started with the outlines and silhouettes, and then from that is how I developed my art style. Yeah, that's how I learned how to do digital art. So I've been doing it for a while. I didn't even know it was digital art. My audience is ones which came and told me, you're doing realism digital art, and I was like, oh, that's what it's called. I wasn't even aware it's digital art. It just came along as a adaptation to change. Yeah. So I would say roughly 5 years or so. Yeah.
I would ask, how does someone realize that they can actually start doing digital art? If that makes sense.
How does someone realize that they can do it?
Yeah.
They start. Because me, I didn't realize I can do it. I just kept doing it. And then I was told it's what I'm doing. Because I feel like I've come from a generation where a lot of things are new to us. Like, if you look 10 years back, even 20, what was digital art? Did anyone even know how to use Photoshop? Was even Photoshop a thing? Was Illustrator? Like, I don't think Illustrator was a thing. So now we have times where we are learning how to do vector art. Even Procreate didn't exist. So I had to learn how, like, we're at a time where if you're not constantly starting and creating, like, even if you don't know how to draw, like, I do backgrounds. I had to learn how to do my own backgrounds, because when I'm doing book covers or designing my book covers, I had to learn how to create like textures and stuff like that. So for me, like, when you come from a time where all you have to do is Google, check on YouTube, search how to create backgrounds, and that's going to teach you how to do it. That's what I did with my website. That's what I did with what else? That's how I learned how to use Photoshop and Illustrator. Basically, YouTube. So digital art, I kind of just learned on the way. I didn't really learn how to draw someone. I just learned how to do it. Even painting, abstract painting, I just taught myself. Like, no one taught me, put the brushstroke up, down. It was basically class 8 art that taught me, and I went to the flow. So yeah, that's it. Start.
What software do you use to edit your videos?
I use, at the moment I use Adobe Premiere. That one I learned in Shoutout. So at least I got that advancement. I was able to learn that. And I feel like if you're looking for a software to start with that you don't have, your laptop probably has a default software that you can use to edit. And that's what I used to use before I learned how to use Adobe Premiere. And before that, Photoshop, I learned using Paint. I was very basic. Then I went to GIMP. Okay, so the shout out for my, I want to give some people some shout outs, because I notice when you comment on my channel, I really do think I'm talking to myself. Honestly, if you reach this far, thank you. So, Big Mama, thank you. You're going to learn how to draw. Just keep at it, keep practicing. You're doing great. There's Davy Mulish. Thanks for watching. I did see your comment, and that does make my day. You know, the little things that you guys see. Thank you. and Joe Musioki. I did really listen when you told me to get an iPad, and you told me that it would help if I learn how to draw like on an iPad or something. I think you said the iPad Pro, and that helped because then I was really having a hard time to figure out what to choose. So thanks for the advice. It helps. And from the advice that people give you, I would always say take everything with a pinch of salt so that when people talk badly about your work, it doesn't break you. Yeah. Please remember to like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications, and see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.